Okay, so it's 8 a.m. and the chairlift is closed. So the only way for me to get to the top of the mountain is by e-bike, naturally. Now, if it's difficult coming down the mountain, what on earth is it going to be like trying to get back up there? Can an e-bike tackle terrain only really made for chairlifts? Today, it seems we're going to find out. Many people say it's one of the ultimate downhill puzzles, riddled with routes, a complexity of turns on ever-changing gradients. It doesn't get more physical, technical, or mind-boggling. I can't wait then to get stuck into the puzzle that is Vallnord out here in Andorra. Wow, do people actually wait until 10 o'clock to get on the mountain? That is wasting valuable riding time. I think first of all, I need to grab a coffee though, because it's gonna be hot in a minute. Whoa! That is some bike. Now, it just so happens that the reigning World Cup downhill champions Commencal are based right here in La Massana, and so invited us to try and ride their all-new Meta e-mountain bikes up and down this terrifying hill. Wow, that's great. Can you say thanks to Max? Cheers, mate. See you later, all right? Now, you might be wondering what type of bike I'm tackling this monumental beast of a mountain on. Well, it's a bike that's a bit of an animal itself, 180mm travel up front and 170mm on the rear. You might not have noticed, but in that down tube is a Shimano 504 watt-hour internal battery, and that's going to give me a decent range. Secondly, I'll be aided, I have to say, by the heavy sidewalled Maxxis Assegai tyre double down on the rear and EXO up front. 12-speed SRAM Eagles should keep the gearing low enough, and 200mm rotors with SRAM Code R brakes to stop me cartwheeling back down the hill if it all goes wrong. Yeah, I know, such a drama queen, right? You could argue, I suppose, it's a bike whose mindset is firmly rooted in downhill action. But as Commencal point out, it's a beast on the climbs and a monster on the descent. I think it's time to get to that descent. And so, armed with Commencal's all-new Meta and injected with a double espresso hit, I struck for the mountain to gain a march on a chairlift that seemed to be working part-time. Now, I really don't know what I've got myself into here. I found a goat track, which apparently takes you direct to the start of the downhill track where all the action begins, but I think the action has already begun. It soon became very clear that this climb would not roll over, steep, technical, hot, and utterly exhausting. Rock followed rock, route following route, with rock, dust, cambers, and loose dirt thrown in for good measure. This was testing. Wow, that was ridiculous, pedaling a 180mm travel bike up that super steep hill. But here it is, the start of the infamous Andorra World Cup downhill track. And you know what? I think we've beaten the chairlift because there's nobody here. So it all begins in La Massana at 1,300 meters and finishes here at Locobella at 1,950. So that's 650 meters of descending, which is pretty nuts, and I can't wait to get stuck in. It actually looks like the chairlift has begun working. So the question is, would we beat the chairlift? Well, probably not. Certainly not on a clear day between the 14th of June and the 8th of September. But then that's only 12 weeks out of 52. Now get this, it says on my phone that the World Cup downhill track is 2.79 miles and is said to take 13 minutes, but we all know it takes considerably less than that for the World Cup riders. Look, Bruni did it in about 4 minutes. Still, it's time to dive in, and I'm a little bit scared. As I mentioned earlier, this bike has a colossal 180 millimeters of travel up front and a massive 170 mil on the rear. And as Commencal reminded me, it is a monster on the descents. If the tyres were designed for clawing you up over the rocks, then the other sides of those knobs are well angled for anchoring you going down, and the double wall casing there to take the big hits as effectively as the coil suspension front and rear. Critical for any descending bike, not just the Commencal. Oh boy, that was absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. How on earth do they get down that hill? I've got no idea. Max, how on earth do they get down the hill in 4 minutes?
4 minutes, because I don't know, you are a World Cup rider.
Woo. So 5 minutes up the road from the Commencal restaurant, cafe, is, no surprise, the Commencal store. Let's go and have a look what they got on offer. Come on in. Oh, what's your head there, Nick? So what have we got? Downhill bike. What have we got here? So there's the bike we've just been riding. What have we got here? And there, there's a 29-inch version of the Meta, the Power 29, which Commencal say is a beast on technical climbs with a disconcerting downhill ability, but get this, it's an ally to the person who climbs for their descents. Seems like it's got my name on it. It's right there! The 29-inch version of the Meta. I'm going to take one on the hill if that's okay with you, sir. Au revoir, SX, it's time to hit the 29. Okay, let's not be too hasty here. I mean, 2 to 3 runs on the World Cup downhill track is all very well and good, but why wouldn't you not explore all these mountains? It'd be crazy. Google Maps says it's a 15-minute drive to the top. It's a 1 hour 20 run, 2 hour 20 hike. I reckon I could challenge the chairlift on this road to the top of this hill. And so it was that, armed with the bigger wheeled Meta, we made for the summit, but always with one eye on the mouth-watering descents. These were the same slopes raced by the world's greatest downhill racers only a few days before. The bigger wheels and lesser travel not holding it back in the slightest. In a land where the chairlift runs for only a few months, an e-bike is the tool that frees you from the shackles of the timetables. Still, it was a hard day, with some even harder decisions. Which bike should you choose? So let us know in the comments below, Meta Power 27 or Meta Power 29. So for more adventures on e-bikes, check out the Tour Mont Blanc or the Summit to Sea. And don't forget to hit on the globe to subscribe.